Resolution skill. Building the skill that can turn conflict into opportunities. Conflict is a normal part of any healthy relationship. After all, two people can't be expected to agree on everything all the time. Learning how to deal with conflict rather than avoiding it is crucial. When conflict is mismanaged, it can cause great harm to a relationship. But when handled in respectful, positive way, conflict provides an opportunity to strengthen the bonds between two people. By learning these skills for conflict resolution, you can keep your personal and professional relationship strong and growing. Understanding conflict in relationships. Conflicts arise from different, both large and small. It occurs whenever people disagree over their values, motivation, perception, ideas, and desires. Sometimes these differences appear trivial, but when a conflict triggers strong feelings, a deep personal need is often at the core of the problem. These needs can be a need to feel safe and secure, a need to feel respected and valued, or a need for greater closeness and intimacy. Conflicts arise from different needs. Everyone needs to feel understood, nurtured, and supported, but the ways in which these needs are met vary widely. Differing needs for feeling comfortable and safe creates of some the most served challenges in our personality and professional relationships. Think about the conflict need for safe and continuity versus the need to explore and take risk. You frequently see the conflict between toddler and their parents. The children needs is to explore, so the street or the cliff meets a need. But the parents' need is to protect the children's safety, so limiting exploration becomes a bone of contention between them. The needs between parents play an important role in the long-term success of most relationships, and each deserves respect and condition. In personal relationships, a lack of understanding about different needs can result in distant arguments and breakups. In workplace conflict, differing needs are often at the heart of bitter dispute, sometimes resulting in broken ideas, fewer profits, and lost jobs. When you can recognize the legitimacy of conflict needs and become willing to examine them in an environment of compassion, understanding, it opens pathways to create problem solving, time building, and improved relationships. Conflict 101. A conflict is more than just a disagreement. It is a situation in which one or both parties perceive a threat, whether or not the threat is real. Conflict continues to fester when ignored. Because conflict involves perceived threats to our well-being and survival, they stay with us until we face and resolve them. We respond to conflict based on our perceptions of the situation, not necessarily to an object review of the fact. Our perceptions are influenced by our life experience, culture, values, and belief. Conflict triggers strong emotion. If you aren't comfortable with your emotion or able to manage them in times of stress, you won't be able to resolve conflict successfully. Conflicts are an opportunity for growth. When you're able to resolve conflict in a relationship, It builds trust. You can feel secure knowing your relationship can survive challenges and disagreements. Conflict may feel more threatening to you than it really is. Do you fear conflict or avoid it at all cost? If your perception of conflict comes from frightening or painful memories from previous unhealthy relationship or early childhood, you may expect all present-day disagreements to end badly. You may view conflict in relationship as demoralizing, humanity dangerous, and something to fear. If your early life experience also left you feeling out of control and powerless, conflict may even be traumatic for you. If you view conflict as dangerous, it tends to become a self-fulfilling prophecy when you into a conflict situation already feeling extreme threatened. It's tough to deal with problem at hand in a healthy way. Indeed, instead, you are more likely to shut down or blow up in anger. Healthy and ways to managing and resolve conflict. Unhealthy response to conflict. Healthy response to conflict. An inability to recognize and respond to the things that matter to the other people. The capacity to recognize and respond to the things that matter to the other person. Explore anger, hurtful, and resentful reaction. Calm, non-defensive, and respectful reaction. The withdrawal of love, resulting in rejection, isolation, shaming, and fear of abandonment. A readiness to forgive and forget, and to move past the conflict without holding resentment or anger. An inability to compromise to see the other person's side. The ability to seek compromise and avoid punishing. The fear and avoidance of conflict. The expectation of bad outcomes. A belief that facing conflict head-on is the best thing for both sides. Successful conflict resolution depends on your ability to regulate stress and your emotions. Conflict triggers strong emotions and can lead to hurt feelings, disappointment, and discomfort. When handled in an unhealthy manner, it can cause irreparable rifts, resentment, and breakups. But when conflict is resolved in a healthy way, it increases our understanding of one another, builds trust, and strengthens our relationship bonds. If you are out of touch with your feelings, or so stressed that you can only pay attention to a limited number of emotions, you won't be able to understand your own needs. And if you don't understand your own needs, you will have a hard time communicating with others and stay in touch with what's really troubling you. For example, couples often argue about petty difference. The way she hangs the towel, the way he slurps his soup, rather than what is really bothering them. The ability to successfully resolve conflict depends on your ability to manage stress quickly while remaining alert and calm. By staying calm, you can actually read and interpret verbal and nonverbal communication, control your emotion and behavior. When you're in control of your emotion, you can communicate your needs without threatening, or punishing others. Pay attention to the feeling being expressed, as well as the spoken words of others. Be aware of and respectful of difference. By avoiding disrespectful words and action, you can almost always resolve a problem faster. To successfully resolve a conflict, you will need to learn and practice two core skills: the ability to quickly reduce stress in a moment and the ability to remain comfortable enough with your emotion to react in constructive ways even in the midst of an argument or a perceived attack. Quick stress relief, the first core conflict resolution skill. Being able to manage and relieve stress in a moment is the key to stay balanced, focused, and in control, no matter what challenges you face. If you don't know how to stay centered and in control of yourself, you will become overwhelmed in conflict situations and unable to respond in healthy ways. Psychologist Conan Leas uses a driving analogy to describe the three most common ways people respond when they're overwhelmed by stress. Foot on the gas. An anger and agitated stress response. You're heated, keyed up, overly emotionally, and unable to sit still. Foot on the brake. A withdrawn or depressed stress response. You shut down, space out, and show very little emotion and energy. Foot on both gas and brake. A tense and frozen stress response. You freeze under pressure and can't do anything. You look paralyzed, but under the surface you are extremely agitated. Stress interferes with the ability to resolve conflict by limiting your ability. Actually, read another person's nonverbal communication. Hear what someone is really saying. Be aware of your own feelings. Be in touch with your deep-rooted needs. Communicate your needs clearly. Is stress problem of you or you? You may be resolved used to be stressed that you are not even aware you are stressed. Stress may be a problem in your life if you identify with the following. You're often feeling tense or tight someone in your body. You're not aware of movement in your chest or stomach when you breathe. Conflict absorbs your time and attention. Learn how to be stressed in moment. The best way to rapidly and relieve stress, if you don't have someone close at hand to talk, is through the sense: sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. But each person responds differently to sensor input, so you need to find things that are suited to you. Emotional awareness, the second core conflict resolution skill. Emotional awareness is the key to understanding yourself and others. If you don't know how to feel or why do you feel that way, you won't be able to communicate effectively or resolve disagreement. Although knowing your own feelings may sound simple, many people ignore or try to sedate strong emotions like anger, sadness, and fear. Your ability to handle conflict, however, depends on being connected to these feelings. If you're afraid of strong emotion, or if you insist on finding solutions that are strictly rational, your abilities to face and resolve different will be impaired. Why emotional awareness is a key factor in resolving conflict. Emotional awareness, the consciousness of your moment-to-moment emotion experience and the ability to manage all of your feelings of appropriately is the basis of a communication process that can resolve conflict. Emotional awareness helps you understand what is really troubling others, understand yourself, including what is really troubling you. Stay motivated until the conflict is resolved. Communicate clearly and effectively, attract and influence others. Assess your ability to recognize and manage emotions. The following quiz helps you assess your level of emotional awareness. Answer the following question with almost never, occasionally, often, very frequently, or almost always. There are not right or wrong response, only the opportunities to become better requirements with your emotion response. What kind of relationship do I have with my emotions? Do you experience feeling with that flow? Encourage encountering one emotion after another as your experience change from moment to moment. Are your emotions accompanied by physical sensation that you experience in places like your stomach or chest? Do you experience discrete feelings and emotions such as anger, sadness, fear, joy, each of which is evident in subtle facial experience? Can you experience intense feelings that are strong enough to capture both your attention and that others? Do you pay attention to your emotion? Do they factor in your decision making? If any of these experiences are unfamiliar, your emotion may be turned down or even turned off. In either case, you may need help developing your emotional awareness, and do this by reading Develop Emotional Awareness. Nonverbal communication plays a big role in conflict resolution. The most important information exchange during conflict and argument is often communicated nonverbally. Nonverbal communication is conveyed by emotional-driven facial expression, posture, gesture, pace, tone, and intensity of voice. The most important communication is wordless. The people are upset. The words they use rarely convey the issue and needs at the heart of the problem. When we listen for what is felt, as well as what is said, we cannot more deeply to our own needs and emotions and to those of other people. Listening in the ways also strengthen us, inform us, and make it easier for us to hear. When you're in the middle of a conflict, paying close attention to the other person's noble signal may help you figure out what the other people is really saying. This will allow you to respond in a way that builds trust and get the roots of the problem. A calm tone of voice, reassuring touch, or an interested or concerned facial expression can go a long way toward relaxing a tense exchange. Your ability to actually read another person depends on your own emotional awareness. The more aware you are of your own emotions, the easier it will be for you to pick up the wordless clue that reveals what others are feeling. Humor, judicious use can effectively diffuse conflict. When stress and emotion are both into balance, your capacity for joy, pleasure, and playfulness is unleashed. Joy is a deceptively powerful resource. Study shows that you can surmount adversity as long as you continue to have moments of joy. Humor plays a similar role when facing conflict. You can avoid many confrontation and resolve arguments and disagreements by communicating in a humorous way. Humor can help you say things that might otherwise be difficult to express without offending someone. However, it is important that you laugh with the person, not at them. When humor and play are used to reduce tension and anger, reframe problems, and put the situation into perspective, the conflict can actually become an opportunity for greater connection and intimacy. Tips for managing and resolving conflict. Managing and resolving conflict requires the ability to quickly reduce stress and bring your emotion into balance. You can ensure that the process is as positive as possible by sticking to the following guidance. Listen for what is felt as real as well as said. When we listen, we connect more deeply to our own needs and emotions and to those of others. Listening also strengthens us, informs us, and makes it easier for others to hear us when it's our turn to speak. Make conflict resolution the priority rather than winning or being right. Maintaining and strengthening the relationship rather than winning at the argument should always be the first priority. Be respectful of the other person and his or her viewpoint. Focus on the present. If you're holding to grudges based on past resentment, your abilities to see the reality of the current situation will be impaired. Rather than looking to the past to assigning blame, focus on what you can do in the here and now to solve the problem. Pick your battles. Conflicts can be roaring, so it's important to consider whether the issue is really worthy of your own time and energy. Maybe you don't want to surrender a parking space if you're counting 50 minutes. But there are dozens of empty spots. Arguing over single space isn't worth. Be willing to forgive. Resolve conflict is impossible if you're unwilling or unable to forgive. Resolution lies in realizing the argue to punish. We should never compensate for our losses and only add to our injuries by further depleting and ruining our lives. Knowing when to let something go. If you can't come to an agreement, agree and to disagree. It takes two people to keep an argument going. If a conflict is going nowhere, you can choose to disengage and move on.